Hi, Garrett here from DealersLink. So I wanted to run through a few different buying scenarios today on DealersLink. I've had a lot of requests from dealers asking about tips and tricks and how to buy through our platform versus maybe a BacklotCars, an OVE, a SmartAuction. And one of the main differences with DealersLink is the way that the transaction goes down. So when you are looking at vehicles on DealersLink, and I'll just dive right into it, we go out to the marketplace, we can select any vehicle we're looking for, we can select a distance, you know how all of this functionality will work. But one major difference is when I go out to look at a particular vehicle is we see this buy it now price. And as a buyer, with those other platforms, when I click that buy it now button, I own the vehicle. The selling dealer has to produce the vehicle to me, or they have to pay a penalty, an unbuy fee, if you will, to those other platforms. DealersLink is a little different, and it's a little different for a couple reasons. The first reason is when you click this buy it now button, we want to give that selling dealer the opportunity to make sure that vehicle is still available. The last thing we want to do is have everybody scrambling. It's a terrible customer experience from the buyer and the seller. If the seller had that vehicle posted maybe inadvertently through the auction, or it was posted and maybe they forgot to take it down. So we want to make sure that once you click that buy it now button, the seller is alerted, but everyone has time to then kind of slow down a little bit. We all know we're rushing in the dealership, and make sure that vehicle is truly still available for sale. One of the other features of DealersLink is we have a purchase order. So as a buyer, you submit your buy either through the buy now button or through a buy bid offer. Once you submit that offer, the selling dealer has time to then track that vehicle down, make sure that it is still in the condition they said it was, and from that point, they will generate a purchase order. That purchase order is signed by the seller, sent back over to the buyer, and the buyer then has another opportunity. They have 48 hours to then review that contract, make sure that's still the right vehicle for them, and then sign that and electronically send it back. Once that happens, the deal has now come together. It's now a complete deal. We can arrange for payment and transportation. So I like to let dealers know that we are a bit different there. Now, the other factor is going to be the purchase. So when we look at a particular vehicle, we want to be able to make that offer as a buy it now, or we want to be able to submit a lower buy bid because we feel that maybe in our market, my market isn't the Oregon market, so maybe my book is going to be a little different. Maybe it's a little bit lighter. I want to submit a lighter buy bid. One big major factor is these vehicles are all ready for retail. So these vehicles have been freshened up, cleaned up, gone through the shop, they're ready for retail. So oftentimes dealers will say to me, well, I looked through the listings and, these prices were all at, retail rates. They were all at NADA clean trade. And why would I pay clean trade for a vehicle? If I pull over a quick timeline, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So for instance, you go to the auction on June 1st, you win the auction, now the fee is assessed, you order a post-sale inspection, then it goes into arbitration. There was a few little issues they had to contact the seller for. You order your transportation, costs you another week. June 8th, the vehicle comes to the lot. Now we have it sitting for a couple days waiting to go into the shop, maybe a week. It enters the shop. It goes through, the service is complete. Now we've got to get the touch-up done. Now we've got to get the PDR work done. Now we finally get it detailed. We get window stickers, photos, and now it's ready for retail. 25 days later, that vehicle is ready for retail. And guess what that figure is going to be at day 26? NADA clean trade in most cases, if not a little bit more, because everything throughout this entire process from day 1 to day 26 are all costs that we are estimating. And as dealers, we know that estimated costs often come back to bite us in the rear. And we can buy cars right from the auction, but when you start adding these other factors in, that's where the unpredictability comes in. So with a DealersLink dealer and a DealersLink car, the process is a little different. You go in and you make that offer on DealersLink June 1st. Offer is accepted June 2nd. We still maybe have that week of transport to get that vehicle to our lot. We do the replacement of stickers. We take our photos, and June 10th, 9 days later, this vehicle is on our front line ready for retail. We didn't have to wait for it to get into the shop. We didn't have to wait for it to get through the shop. We didn't have to fight with our service manager because he wanted to do $1,900 of work to a 2019 vehicle with 6,200 miles. We don't have to wait on bumper repairs. We don't have to wait on PDR work. We don't have to have those windshield chips fixed. We don't, all we have to do is a quick detail and place our new stickers in it, and we are ready to run this thing out to the front line. So what is the opportunity cost of buying a vehicle from the auction versus buying a vehicle on DealersLink? Well, in most average cases, it's a minimum of 2 weeks. Well, those 2 weeks in the first 30 days of a vehicle's life cycle are two of the most profitable weeks that you could have that vehicle on your lot. And again, in most cases, when I run in and I look at a dealership's inventory, I'm going to find that the vast majority of those vehicles are going to end up close to NADA clean trade. So this has been Garrett from DealersLink. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me at Garrett, GARRETT.Smith@dealerslink.com. And until next time, have a great day. Thanks for listening.